What is good? 2 minute warning. Fury back again. Is coming on to week 9, I believe. Yo, we got a good show going on. We got a special guest. Our lovely woman of 2 minute warning, Sarita, said hi.
What up?
All right, Tim, Josh, we got a great show, guys. But before we start, I gotta say, Tim, where were your boys? What happened to them boys?
Shots fired already.
All right.
You know what? I can't say nothing. Got nothing to say.
That's easy enough. Wow.
Oh.
I don't want to get blocked from here, so
Really easy.
I don't want to get blocked from here now, so I'm gonna leave it like that.
Put you back in jail, Shug.
Yeah, I gotta be lax. Right now, they give me some good visit time. I'm visiting right now, so I'm good.
Tim secretly in the FOH.
Yeah, yeah.
Put your
I got
hands
my
on the
cup going
glass,
on.
Tim.
Well, sure. I want to drop no soap over here, so we're good.
Oh.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what? That's confidential. Let's just move it on. All right, first quarter. Well, welcome, Sarita. It's about time you had joined us. All right. Well, we have a good quarter. We're gonna talk about Vernon Davis being traded, Joseph Randle being released by the Dallas Cowboys, and should Andrew Luck be benched? Vernon Davis, Sarita,
Whatever.
got traded to the Denver Broncos. Do you see is that something like a reward for Denver and good riddance for San Francisco, or vice versa? How do you feel about that?
So I was trying to get some information from a friend of mine who knows a lot, but he won't tell me. What he said, though, is that I think it had more to do with the personalities in the locker room than them not being able to use him. And, we heard a little bit about that, about him and Alex Boone getting into it, kind of having an argument.
Right.
But I think it was a lot more than we know. And I think it had to do with management in general. And I think that they were just like, I think he wanted to go, and then he wasn't. I mean, yes, he wasn't getting the targets, but he was really, like, he'd kind of given up a little bit. And it was kind of like, well, if you're not going to operate here, we'll send you on your way. No hard feelings. Thank you for all the years you've been here, but, like, you got to go. Honestly,
It was like Knicks with the Giants.
Yeah, and honestly, I just think management doesn't know what the hell they're doing right now, and they just kind of let him go. But yeah, shout out to whoever put that post up earlier, lying, saying that Vernon said all that shit about Cap, because I was for real like evil Vernon can go, but he didn't really say it, so I'll be all right. He had me for a minute. But yeah, I think it was they weren't using him anyway, and so they just kind of were like, okay, we can get some kind of value for him. We're not getting anything out of you here. You can go. It's almost like mid-year with Frank Gore, right? It's like the same thing, but they did it in the middle of the year.
Okay.
And they didn't just let him walk.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, it probably was. They don't want to, cause like a cancer in the locker room or whatever with the negative energy and whatnot. But I mean, let's talk about the other side of the ball here with Peyton Manning now. I mean, he's going from Owen Daniels and this guy Virgil Green to a monster in Vernon Davis. He's gonna ball out in the second half of the year. When he has a little toy or a weapon at the tight end position, that boy has some good stats. I don't think you're gonna see too many more INTs coming from Peyton's side now.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, man. I think I know Julius Thomas was great the last 2 years he was there before he went to Jacksonville. So I mean, I can imagine with Vernon Davis, he's a good veteran tight end. I know he'll do a lot for Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton Manning still has to have his arm, unlike spaghetti arms, to get the ball. But I mean, you can actually see right now, this team is going for the chip, nothing less but the chip. This is Peyton Manning's last year, so we all think that. So it's not a bad move. I think with the 49ers, it's kind of good for them because, again, I know, Sarita, I'm not trying to say anything negative about your team, but I supported Thomasula because I always feel that you have to give somebody a chance. Now, he shouldn't be graded this year the performance of the team because this team is they're making decisions. And we don't really know yet with Kaepernick, which we'll talk about that later on today. But I gotta give them some type of credit because they play. You don't see the team bow out. I mean, they play. The defense still trying to do what they need to do, and they haven't been losing in the first half. It was just the second half as the team is going, all right, we can't do no more. So you got to give him some of that credit. He's not going to win overnight. But let's go to my Dallas Cowboys, Joseph Randle being released. Geez, you know, I tell you this. Me and Mike did a skit when I had a chicken wing in my hand, and I was I hate to say sucking the meat off that. He talking about the gristle. Well, you know what? I don't want to say sucking the meat as appropriate. I would say I was biting. I was sucking and biting. What can I say? You know, I was enjoying the chicken wing, and he was telling me about taking the gristle, go to the gristle, because this was something that Joseph Randle was referred to DeMarco Murray not doing last year, that he was leaving meat on the bone, and looks like he left a lot of meat on the bone this year. Mental issues, things from the past is coming to haunt him from February with his ex-wife. A lot of things going on with him, and they had to cut him, but they're still trying to evaluate him and see what's going on mentally. The ball goes to now it goes to DMC, McFadden, Christian Michael. These guys got to take over now.
Well, they kind of had to take over anyway because he wasn't really. I mean, he was, but he wasn't really doing a lot in the first place.
First half guy, yeah.
It was so. They were kind of just cutting the salary. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't adding a lot of value, but now they've got more salary. I don't know. It just didn't seem like he was. It was like he was there, but he wasn't really there, right? It was Reggie Bush and the 49ers, right? Like you're on the team, but we haven't seen you, right? So now you being gone is like, okay, you know, like is he playing? Was he not playing? What's going on? So I don't know that it took away that much, except for he's not on the roster anymore.
Yeah, I don't feel it's any hair off their back. I mean, besides, what game do you remember that he played this year was the Falcons game where he had 3. Other than that, you really don't remember much of his production this season. So he's still young. He just needs to get his head together. I don't know if he's already ruined it for himself at this point. I mean, his attitude is really piss poor, and I don't know if a lot of GMs are going to want to work with that because already, off the bat, he's nothing special working with the best offensive line in the league. He really didn't show too much promise. I mean, you got Darren McFadden back there that's now showing real promise. I mean, he's looking like a 100-yard-a-game rusher almost. It's looking like he's, you know, starting to play
like what they thought he was going to do in Oakland.
Starting to play to his draft pick status. I mean, he's starting to look really good in the legs underneath him. I mean, hopefully, you know, knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens to him this season because he's looking good. But, I mean, at this point in time, hopefully Joseph Randle can get his act together because if he doesn't, it's too late for him too.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. And, I mean, I know I praised Randle as he could take over DeMarco Murray's spot. It didn't happen, but I will say this. I did say that this would be the best supporting cast that McFadden has ever been around since Oakland. He hasn't been around anything since Oakland at all. So when you give a talented guy a second chance on a new team, you see what he's able to do. That's one of my quotes I'm used for Kaepernick later on. But you know, that's I'm impressed with McFadden right now. But I like Christine Michael a lot from Seattle. I really want him to get on. Andrew Luck. Yeah. What was it, 3 interceptions against Carolina Panthers on this past Monday? They fired the offensive coordinator. And you know what? And I have to give it to Dom, who's not here. Dom argued so much in 2-minute warning about comparing Eli Manning to Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck has been given the throne to run the whole NFL as the next man, the next golden boy, and has not been able to take it and run with it. Should he be benched? Because I'm not being fair. He has weapons. What's wrong? Offensive line too now? Everybody don't have everything now.
It's too early for that. Like, just because you're not Tom Brady doesn't mean you should be on the bench, right? Like, there's something in between, right? So, yeah, he's not living up to the expectations, but let's think about it. How high were our expectations too high, right? Like, everybody expects every quarterback to be Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton when he's actually throwing right. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone expects these superstar quarterbacks. We've set the bar so high that now when anytime somebody has a crappy game, you're like, sit down, have a seat, next. And you're like, there's not that many people behind them, right? So you can't just say all of a sudden he should be benched, right? Like, he's still being a productive quarterback. And, I mean, what are their options right now, right? Like, if they had an amazing quarterback sitting on the bench and he was just chomping at the bit waiting to be behind Andrew Luck, then maybe. But, you know, there's only so many NFL caliber quarterbacks out there. So everybody's going to have a bad game. It's just that your performance is magnified so much when you're the quarterback. Well, I'm sure there are plenty of players who have been starters for a really long time who have had really shitty games, but they weren't the quarterback, so people weren't paying as much attention to them. I think it's too soon to be talking about benching Andrew Luck.
I mean, yeah, I just hate the whole comparison of quarterbacks to quarterbacks. Like, every quarterback is them themselves, you know.
Right.
If you're gonna compare quarterbacks, yeah, it's cute to, you know, oh, their touchdowns and their yards are so similar. Yada, yada. You can do that if you really want to nitpick and, you know, just saying type stats, but it's really just garbage. It's more just, you know, stuff in the air. And other than that, I mean, obviously, Andrew Luck's had a magnifying glass on him ever since he's been in college. Stanford, he was highly praised. Even before he came out as the #1 pick in the NFL, he was always got to mastermind his craft, his skill. You know, look at the college classes he's taken. It's all about arithmetic and construction. And, you know, they were just praising him. They were just looking at, you know, praising the kid's classes that he was taking and the work he was putting in. So he's always had so much focus on him for 4 years straight, and of course his ceiling has been so high because of what he did the first 2 years already, leading them to the playoffs and everything. So obviously he can have an off year, and if these reports are true that he's playing with these rib injuries and whatever else he might actually be playing undisclosed with, they should just sit him. You know, Pep Hamilton's gone. Okay, that didn't work. Failed experiment. Put him down. Get somebody else in there. You're playing for nothing for the rest of the season anyway. Don't lose what you're heavily invested in.
I mean, on that note about setting the bar too high from college years, look what happened to Tebow. I mean, kid clearly did not have the skills as a quarterback starting in pro league. He's lacking, but they praise him so high that people forgot that he really isn't that skillful. I mean, look at the Spice Girls. The media attention is what made them so popular, and then when you really look at them as talented artists, they suck. I mean,
we went to the Spice Girls.
The Spice Girls. I would have used Iggy Azalea, but okay, the Spice Girls.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, Sean, watch your mouth. I had a CD of the Spice Girls, man, when I was young. Watch your mouth there, man.
Hey,
but see, I can respect that, Josh. You were saying that you can't compare quarterbacks to quarterbacks, which is fair. But how about surroundings? If that's Jerry Jones, I'm not answering the phone. I'm doing this right now. All right. But if I mean, look at this. You got Russell Wilson, which I'm about to throw up. I mean, I like Russell Wilson, but I just hate Seattle right now because Sean's sporting that shirt like an Amani. You think that's Amani shirt right now, but. You know, my whole thing is, look at Russell Wilson. This man has no offense. I'm sorry. Beast Mode is not it. You know, he has no receiver. He has a tight end who thinks he's a receiver, a tight end who doesn't like to block. Okay, but he makes plays with him doing what he needs to do. And the NFL feels that he's a scrambling quarterback, which is wrong because he can do the things Tom Brady, Eli Manning, and Peyton Manning can do. He can stay in that pocket and throw. He has proven that since college. Now you look at Eli Manning. Hate to say, I mean, listen, he's like the Forrest Gump of the NFL. He's not popular. He looks stupid when he makes the faces, but guess what? He wins. And if you look at it, if you want to look at winners and championship, he's above Tom Brady. He's above Peyton Manning. I'm sorry to say, I'm about to throw up, but it's the truth. Excuse me.
Well, anyways, we're running out of time. Last words.
So, you know, my thing is this: with Andrew Luck, Andre Johnson, T.Y. Hilton. All right, you got his two tight ends who were the best two tight ends in the draft when they came out. You have Frank Gore. Okay, I mean, you got Nate Solder, who is the best left tackle on that line. Everybody doesn't have a great offensive line. Look at the Giants. They don't have a great offensive line, but look what Eli does. He gets rid of that ball that fast. So Andrew Luck will win. He has the talent.
All right. On that note, that's the end of this down. Catch us in second down, y'all.